in the house. All right, so Randy, Borderlands is the king of the looter shooter genre, and the moment you announced Borderlands 3, it certainly became one of the most anticipated games of 2019, and now you're here at E3 on AMD's stage. AMD was with you at the reveal. Now you're here at AMD's stage at E3. Can you tell us a bit about how your team at Gearbox is taking advantage of the new Ryzen and Radeon technologies in the game?
Jeff, I am so excited to be here.
Yeah.
I'm going to take out this moment to call out some cool tech features that usually we don't get attention for in a typical marketing for a game like ours. So if we look at the screens, I'll show you some of the cool things that gamers can expect in Borderlands 3.
Let's do it.
Now, one of the exciting things that we can do in Borderlands 3 is we can leave our home planet to visit another world. At one point, our adventure is going to take us here to Promethea. And you can see that Promethea is surrounded by an asteroid belt. This gives us a really cool opportunity to show off some pretty clever and awesome light simulation in Borderlands 3. In this time-lapse sequence, you can see how the asteroids flying by occlude light from Promethea's star, creating shadows across the surface. And as asteroids fly past, the light from the star will be able to peek back through, illuminating the environment with the light of day. As you can see how natural light and digital light interact, you can see how technology and creative design can work together to create an interesting fiction and a stunning image. Now, back on Pandora, I want to show you some evidence of our investment into the future of display technology and how powerful hardware and software can unlock a new range of fidelity. For televisions and monitors that support it, high dynamic range provides for a greater spectrum of luminosity than we've ever experienced before. It allows for brighter brights, darker darks, and a range of color and light that is as close as we've ever come to simulating on screen what the human eye can actually detect in the real world. In order to help show off the HDR difference, we've simulated the effect here. Now, without HDR, this is what the scene would normally look like. It's pretty nice, but this is the same scene in HDR, much more vibrant and alive. Do you see the difference? Well, look again. Back to standard. And now with HDR.
Cool.
One more time, standard and HDR. I hope it won't be long before all displays offer high dynamic range, but when Borderlands 3 launches on September 13th, technophiles like me with HDR screens are going to have very happy eyeballs. One more thing I want to show you guys. I'll take you somewhere new. This isn't Pandora or Promethea or Eden 6. This is Athenas. And we'll talk more about Athenas later, but I thought this is the perfect environment to talk about some of the great features possible with Borderlands 3 through our collaboration with AMD. We've been working with AMD to incorporate a technology suite called Fidelity FX. Fidelity FX is a collection of high-quality post-processes that we can use to make Borderlands 3 look even better without sacrificing performance at all. It takes advantage of the latest features of Radeon RX 5000 series GPUs to accelerate performance, including the use of rapid packed math. Now, just one example of how we're using Fidelity FX in Borderlands 3 is contrast adaptive sharpening. The dynamic sharpening filter draws out detail in these low contrast areas while improving image quality and clarity and maintaining steady frame rates. When designers, artists, and programmers at Gearbox Software work together with AMD engineers on Borderlands 3 to combine sophisticated technology with handcrafted, talent-driven art and design, the results are simply beautiful.
All right, that's a little sneak preview. Very exciting. Randy, I can tell the Borderlands team, has been working hard to get even more players to join the army of gamers who are big fans of the franchise, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, I am so excited to invite everybody here at E3 to join us during the show. We've got a massive Borderlands 3 booth, which is front and center in the main South Hall. There are over 100 AMD Ryzen and Radeon-powered game stations set up to give as many people as possible here at E3 the chance to go hands-on with Borderlands 3 before the game launches on all platforms on September 13th.
All right, very cool.
And this is just a taste of our collaboration with AMD. I'm pleased to announce that Gearbox and AMD Studios have signed a multi-year agreement so that we are kitted out with all of the latest hardware from AMD that we can use for development and testing of all of our Gearbox games. It's going to ensure that the best experience for games from Gearbox is on the best hardware, on AMD hardware for years to come.
All right, seems like a pretty strong partnership between AMD and Gearbox. We can't wait to check out the game during E3. And is there anything else that you want to share with us?
Well, I thought since they gave us a moment here, I'd also bring some never-before-seen gameplay footage. You guys want to check out something that nobody's seen yet?
More Borderlands. You guys are taking over E3. All right, what are we about to look at?
Okay, so we're at E3 going to let people play as a new Vault Hunter for the very first time. This is Mose. Let's roll the video, and we can look at her. Now, she is a gunner character, and she is a badass. Mose is right now my favorite new Vault Hunter in Borderlands 3. We're going to start by showing you a little bit of her skill tree. I think the people streaming at home will freeze frame this and look at all the details of all the stats, figure out how to min-max this character. But Mose is a mech pilot. She can get in this Titan that she calls Iron Bear, and she can kit out the Iron Bear with all kinds of cool augmentations, modifications as she develops her skills in the game. You know, Borderlands isn't just about shooting and collecting loot. It's also about leveling up and becoming more powerful. And with the Iron Bear, Mose can kit this creature out with all kinds of badass equipment. Flamethrowers, machine guns, rocket launchers, even badass fists. Here's the Iron Bear in action. We can see Mose using a configuration that we call bottomless mags, where by switching between her minigun and her flamethrower, she virtually never runs out of ammunition, and she can rock and kick ass. Hey, that was Flak mounting the Iron Bear. You can actually get a special augmentation so that your co-op buddies can jump in and mount your vehicle. So Mose is in the cockpit, and one of your friends, as Flak or any of the other characters, can jump in and use the turret. We just took out a big-ass effing dinosaur. It's pretty rad. A lot more gameplay coming up. Go to the floor and check it out yourselves.
Awesome. All right. Well, Borderlands 3 is here in full force, and we can't wait to play it in September. Thanks for being here, Randy.
I'm so psyched. Thanks, you guys. See you down at the floor. Cheers.
Awesome. Thanks, Randy.
Right,
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you.